I hope that started recording, because I can't hear a goddamn thing. I'm listening to Yoshi Horikawa's Starlings. I'm your host, Zeos Pantera, here on Inner Fetish. We're going to check out Z Reviews, that other fucking channel. No one cares about that. I'm here with a FiiO flagship, a $750 FiiO IEM. Just get that through your blue hair and beautiful skin. So these are the FX15s, and I don't want to stop listening to Yoshi Horikawa's Starlings because I'm enveloped in sound. I would say they're unique, but not in a way that, like, if you told me like about them and you're like, Zeos, what do you think? And which that's kind of what this video is for. Why would you make a... here's the layout. Ready for the layout? I'll show you the IEMs. They're MMCX in case you want to stop watching the video. They're just like every other FiiO. They're MMCX, and they come with a little tool to bop apart. They're a single 10mm dynamic, plus a single balanced armature, plus 4 electrostatics. But there's a switch, an inconvenient switch, that lets you turn those 4 electrostatics off. And I'm sitting here, and it's the whole point. If you're spending $750 on an IEM, it had better have, like, what is the thing that's unique about it? The 4 E-stats is the unique thing. So giving me the ability to turn them off, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I really want to continue listening to Starlings, but I'll pull these out of my ear because I'm just going to be distracted. The most plain-looking $750 IEM on the market. Like, it's just like a kind of a nice purple pattern in the back. It says FiiO. There's like, actually, those letterings are not written. That's actually embedded into the acrylic, so I got to give them props for that. Here's your MMCX cable. It spins, and there is the switch on top. And I'm pausing that. It's not a switch you can flip with your finger. You know, there's like some IEMs you just reach up and go click, and you go, oh, I'm gonna try the other one, click, and you could actually touch them with your fingernails. There's even some that can go on the outside here that you can just manipulate without even, it's just easy. No, FiiO hasn't, I don't think FiiO's ever added a switch to an IEM. So you've got to pull out the fucking screwdriver. This is a Craftsman Professional 3/30 seconds and 2.5 USA made. And you got to get in there and go for the little switch. And you just have, the options are on and 1. Instead of just on and off, or 1 and 0, because 1 is on like a power switch. It's the word on, unless you read it upside down, in which case it's 1 and no, and that's what turns on and off the electrostats. So I was sitting here, and I'm drinking the boysenberry, and I turned off the electrostat, and I forgot I did it. Well, continuing along, now that the GoPro has given me an error that said I need to put a faster SD card in it, even though it's the same SD card I've been using forever. So yeah, you could turn off the 4 electrostats. And I turned them off, and I was listening. And here's the thing, if you have a switch that, you're not gonna make one switch destroy your IEM. That would be stupid. So what happens is it just doesn't have the 4 electrostats, which means that the single dynamic and the BA, this is a BA in terms of finger thing, the single dynamic, because it's around there, and have to be able to perform as an IEM all on their own. So you don't get like no treble when you shut off the electrostatics. It still sounds like an IEM, a nice, warm, coddling, full sound IEM. And then after you've gotten used to that, you flip on the electrostats and you get the, it's just, I feel like for 4 E-stats, there would be a bigger change. Because I actually was running 1 and 1, or I'm sorry, 1 and on, and then I switched it to no and I, so that I could back and forth like on either ear, which is not how you really should assess something, but I wanted to see if I could tell, and it was during a song with like violins, so I know I would be able to hear the difference. And when I flipped it and I had like the electrostatics on in the right ear, I'm like, listening to the violin, and you know it's dead center, and then it's like a little bit biased to the right because now that side's got a little bit more treble going for it. Okay, then I flip the switch back, take it completely out of my ear, and get a fucking tool, because you have to with this stylo switch, which FiiO fix it. Get like normal big switches, than the other side. So there is something there. It is doing something. It is definitely extending it. Now, I had some listening tests before I went. I just got back from Denver. To get back from Denver. It's like 7 in the morning. I never do these this early. But I just got back from Denver, and I tried to do this review beforehand, and I didn't like the way things came out, and I stopped it and deleted it. It's very rare for me. But coming back, thinking about it, now you sit down, and I had a couple tracks that were like harsh tracks. Tracks that were harsh. Now the thing is, do you want an IEM, or do you want anything, a speaker, a headphone, any sort of audio device that hides badness? That's a choice you have to make. Because true audiophiles, if your track is shit, they want to know about it. Don't remove anything. It was the artist's intention to make my ears fucking bleed. And I'm not one of those. I kind of like, there are certain devices, and actually the speakers aren't there that I would be pointing at right now. They're the other fluids with there are certain headphones and certain IEMs, Shure IEMs, that just let you know exactly what the fuck's on the paper. You just read it word for word. And frankly, I'm not really into, not for joy, not for pleasure listening. That's not what I'm into. I want to be lied to a little bit. Just lie to me a little. Tell me I'm pretty a little bit. And these can do that when you shut off the electrostats. When you turn on the electrostats, if there's something that's got too much treble, you'll know about it. But there's an option. So my thinking is, you get these IEMs, and they are absolutely worth fucking getting. Here's the thing. FiiO has had a pretty dry spell of good IEMs. It's been pretty rocky. There's been one or two bright spots, but I can't remember their numbers. Because they're over there maybe on the pile, but it's like, yeah, FiiO, they made a decent one. They made a good one. But they used to own the IEM sphere when I didn't actually do an IEM channel like this, and I had hundreds of IEMs now inside of me. Don't take that wrong. These are the best IEM FiiO's ever made. Whether you have the switch on or not, that's the key. Because that dynamic, I have several $1,000 sets of just dynamics. Just one driver. And they do all the work. So now imagine this as just a 10 millimeter, and it just happens to have a balanced armature to help it out. Absolutely fucking bargain for $750 if it's going to be one of my top, I wouldn't say one of my top personal IEMs, but certainly the top that they've ever made, and competing wholeheartedly in that whole price range against other things like Thigh Audio. Then you throw on those electrostats, and you literally have to physically throw them on. I think they come in the box on. I don't remember. I was flipping switches just to play with it. And then you get something a little bit more special, because you get to enable or disable that that's something. When someone says this, I don't know, it's got something about it. There's a switch for that. Literally turn it on. And I've been sitting here going through Creepy Nuts and Moody Blues and the Warzone 2100 soundtrack from an RTS from 1998. It was an amazing game. And every time I listen to something, if it's a good recording, and we're in my sound demo tests, for those of you who, I don't do sound demos for IEMs, I thought about it. I don't know how much effort that'd be worth doing to build like a rig that you plop them in. But these are the songs that I use to test headphones and test speakers. And some of them are critical. Some of them are like, all right, this speaker is going to fail, on this track, because most headphones or speakers fail on this track, and I'll use that as a sound demo. But 99% of these songs here are just amazing to listen to. And listening on this with the electrostats on all the time was perfect. When I went into my actual playlist and started shuffling around, that was the only time where I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish I couldn't hear this, or I kind of wish this was toned down. So depending on what you listen to, you're probably going to start the listening session of this with the electrostats on, and then just shuffle your music, shuffle your playlist on Spotify or Tidal, whatever you're using. And if you enjoy it like that, never touch that switch ever fucking again. Never touch it. Why? Just never touch it. You're good to go. But if you notice that you're listening to things that's like, you know what, it's got a little bit too much going for it right now, take them off. Find your Craftsman professional screwdriver, model number 41522. Flip them from on to the letter I, and then just listen from that. And you know what? They'll still be fucking good. All right? That's a switch that basically is asking you a question. Is your music shit? If your music is shit, don't listen with 4 extra electrostats to reveal the shittiness to you. I do not have the stock tips on them. And when I say stock tips, I don't know what to talk about because there's this entire case with these are the bass tips, the vocal tips, the biflange tips, the balance tips, and the memory foam tips. And that's not all. You get FiiO's own HS18 silicone tips, and they've included spin fit tips. So I think this might be the most variety of tip I've ever seen with an IEM. Like, it's just all of them. The only thing that's got more variety is my goddamn, like, pull out to do IEM reviews spin fit box with the render tips and the Duno SS, which is what's currently on there. Just for fit reasons, I like the Duno SS. They're fucking squares. Linked in the description, by the way. Other things. So you get the... Yes, you get the MMCX remover tool so that you can literally go in here and, oh God, pop that off. All right, I know many people who will not buy an IEM that's MMCX. And I don't blame them. MMCX is kind of like, this is some old school connector shit. But the one advantage that MMCX has over 2-pin is that it can rotate. So that means you can get that wire to be in whatever orientation, even if it's got to be that far over, it can be there versus here. And I've had some IEMs that I can take them out of my ears and bend the shit out of the wires, but the 2-pin doesn't rotate. The wire. We'll talk about the wire and the case. The case is a standard FiiO case. And by standard, I mean really fucking nice. This is a nice FiiO case. It's got the 2 little slots there to drop them in there. And you close it, and it's got the magnet that, this nice. This nice. This wire currently it comes with 2 adapters for the end, either 4.4 or 3.5. And then I gotta say, this is the nicest MMCX cable I've ever seen, and I'm tempted not to put these in a yard sale ever just to keep this fucking wire. It's an 8-wire, but it uses a 4-wire weave. You can see they're like 2 by 2. So I like that. That's kind of a unique feel and flow, and it's got a sheen to it that's really nice. Very basic FiiO split. Then it goes up to a 4-wire weave on each side, and then you have the heat shrink on it, and it's very pretty, like gunmetal gray. The absolute most reserved, except for maybe the Soft Ears Twilight, that is the most reserved packaging I've ever fucking seen. FiiO FX15, this is their new font. I don't know what they're going for there, like Terminator. Born for Music and Happy. You got to remember, it used to be Born for Music and Happy. It was full Chinese. But this is much better. Thank you, FiiO, for adjusting that. But yeah, it's got this like little blue, like 1998 screensaver pattern going on, which just gently continues there. And then the back is just one dynamic, one BA 4 electrostatic hybrid IEMs with detachable cable. They're advertising a detachable cable on a $750 IEM. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, the case is nothing like really to speak about. It opens. It has the same plastic insert as other things, and that's where your shit was in the end. Sorry, Asuka. Oh, and you get this, the cool little magnetic wire wrap. Although I gotta say, the magnetness might be too strong. Yeah, they might be too strong. It's like sticky. It's lifting itself up off the table to try to attach itself to the magnet of the speaker. Yeah, no. Calm down, FiiO. Jesus Christ, you're never gonna get through airport security with that. If I swap this out, because I've been running it on the Rebel amp here, which is Class A, and I like a Class A amplifier, especially for like a dynamic. And if you treat this like the dynamic is doing most of the work, which it is, then that's perfectly fine. If I plop this over here balanced now into the Wildlove Topaz, and I shove these back in my head again on, there's no reason I didn't use all of those. I like my IEM tips to fit me. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. John Coltrane is playing. Requiem for a Dream is playing. Geschaffelstein is playing. way too quietly. What is going on? Hold on, everybody. Let me see if this got in wrong. It should not be able to be installed improperly, but that felt weird. Let me do that now. There's just a little, there's a groove here and a little tiny notch there. Let me see if it sounds wholly different when I plug it in now. Yeah. So, FiiO, redesign your interchangeable tips, because number one, they're fucking hard to pull out. My fingers are red because I was like, eh. And then I'm glad that just happened, because I was worried it was going to happen, because having a little tiny notch and a groove here doesn't work if you could turn it sideways, because I used a square bunch of pins. So I was literally just grounding out sideways, like it wasn't working. Now it's working. So be careful when you're plugging this in. Visually confirm that you are going in the correct orientation. I went in and became mono. All right, let's really quick, because, you know, these are not really important things. Let's talk about how it sounds. Soundstage wise. Above average soundstage. That's all I'm going to say. If you know what soundstage is, good. Now you understand. Impact. Above average impact. Again, single dynamic. If you think about the dynamic as being the one in charge, it is actively pushing sound into your ears. Let's try another track. Yoon Sun Na, The Wonder. Wait, actually, I don't have to say it. This is some... Yeah, no, I'm feeling this. That, like, that... There's someone just hitting wooden spoons. Ooh.
And I go with you.
Absolutely flagship levels of vocal reproduction. Oh, we've got a good kick drum now.
What better way to see?
This is... It's cohesive in a way that makes me seem like it's a flagship. It doesn't seem like a flagship. It is a flagship. So now we have cohesive sound, solid bass impact, good soundstage, tremendous vocal reproduction. And again, Yoon Sun Na, which is spelled Y-O-U-N space S-U-N space N-A-H, nah, is high recording quality. Am I in my, I'm not in my thing. This is definitely going straight into the sound demo tracks, because that's where that belongs. It's like she's whispering into my ears. FiiO, FiiO hasn't pulled out a W, like a full W in a while. And this is their full W moment. And I want to give it to them wholeheartedly. Congratulations, FiiO. You've made the list. I don't know what list, but you're fucking on it. When I start finding tracks that I add to the sound demo list, you know, whatever device I'm doing that on is good, is top tier. It's showing me something in the music that the last 30 things that played this track, if this track came on, just was not showing me. So you can't get a better fucking recommendation than, hey, I added things to my sound demo playlist. Wish they looked a little more, I mean, I'm a purple fanboy. And this is, it's just, they don't have the look. They are see-through, and they are rather large, but they're worth dealing with that. Just be careful of the connector when you plug things in, and love the wire as much as you can, and you can throw the box away. You don't even have to keep the box, because who cares? It's the most boring piece of thing. Just keep this, and if you're ever going to sell it again, keep this. Send that in a little tiny envelope. Anyway, I'm done. FiiO, thank you for finally giving me something to praise.
Being with you, being.
And thank you to Yoon Sun Na for existing. And don't forget to get your REM wallpaper in the wallpaper hoard. If that doesn't work, let me know in the comments, because I do check these comments. I don't answer all of them, but I do check them. I didn't plug it into, I mean, I had it plugged into it, but I didn't do it in this video. Another FiiO. I figure FiiO and FiiO has to like rock together. Now we'll listen to Paul Simon. Okay. Enough. Patreon Subscribe Stars support this channel. Patreon Subscribe Stars sent me to Cedia. I didn't have any other sponsors for that. So thank you for everyone who supports this channel. You allow me to both pay my bills, eat usually healthy meals, and go on adventures to places that I haven't been to give you guys coverage. So Patreon Subscribe Star, $5 a month. You see all the, you know what it is. Just go check out the thing. Go check out the thing. It'll be fine. And get your wallpapers. And click your IEMs. And I'll see you in the next one.